feels like it's been longer than just 1 week apart. It feels like it's been like a month almost, but it was just 1 week gap. So today we've got 3 recipes as per usual. Hey, welcome back. So we're gonna start off with the dessert. So your mama's not here, so I always try to do something for her. Okay, because it's a stretch for me every week. So it's more like, I think of it more as a breakfast cookie. It's lightly sweetened, but you can have it as a snack as well. It's super healthy, and it doesn't taste as healthy as it is, but it does taste healthy, but in a good way. So hopefully you all will like that. So we're going to do those first so we can bake them and let them cool completely. And so by the time we finish our other meal, we can have that together. And then our second is a Asian noodle salad, Asian-inspired Thai Asian noodle salad. So we use that dressing that you all really like. Hey, Mike, welcome back. That dressing that y'all really like with the kelp noodle salad. We have a variation of that sauce that we're going to put on the noodle salad. And you can use kelp noodles for it, but today we're going to use rice noodles. So we'll go through all that. And our main dish today, and I thought this was very popular, but apparently some people had never heard of it. If you go to Indian restaurants, you eat Indian food. Have you ever had Palak Paneer? No? Yes? Never knew what it was? Okay, well that's going to be our main dish today. I'll go through and explain all that, but we're going to India today. I wasn't sure if Mike, if you were coming this week, so I was going to do the shepherd's pie next week. I didn't want you to miss it. Okay, I wasn't sure since we had that gap last week. So we'll be, so that's what we're going to do. But before we get into all that, I just want us to play a memory recall game, okay? AKA a pop quiz, AKA a test, AKA a midterm, AKA, just a quick little game. So if everyone can pull out a pen, everyone should have, if you don't have a sheet, I have some more answer sheets. Oh, y'all doing it together?
Yeah.
Okay, you need one? Okay.
I need one too. Please and thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Let's just pass some extra ones around. And if it's your first time here, just do your best. There's no penalty, okay? There's no penalty. So I try to start the class with some type of lesson or some type of prop or something to help you all remember certain things. So now that we're kind of at a midpoint, because our last class will be April 30th, I was like, okay, let's just see, without going too much into detail, what you all recall, some key points that I've been hitting over and over and over again to see if it's penetrating or if I need to take a different approach. Okay, so you got one, Mike, you good? Okay. All right, so number 1, how many grams of fiber are needed per major meal? What's the minimum? Write it down. Per major meal. Okay. Number 2, we won't spend a whole lot of time going through it. Just do your best. If you don't know it, we're going to go over the answers. Number 2, what is the minimum percentage needed to be excellent for the daily values? So if it says it's an excellent source of potassium, what's the minimum percentage for it to be excellent? I'm sure you're like, this is so easy. She says this all the time, right? Yeah. Okay, number 3. What temperature should you eat your food and drink your liquids? Okay, number 4. What is soluble fiber? And bonus, what does it do for your body? That one might take you a little bit longer to write down. Okay, number 5. And it's not 20 questions, by the way. It's just a standard sheet I have. Okay, it's only 10. Okay, okay, okay. Why is it best to avoid white rice, white flour, and white sugar? There's many reasons, but if you can just name one.
It's not colorful.
Okay. Number 6. Name one reason why it's really important to buy organic. These are easy. Okay, number 7. What is the dirty dozen and the clean 15? Just put which one should you buy from, which one should you avoid. Yeah, I look like you're doing great. I'm really excited. Okay, I see most pens have stopped. Okay. Name one, we talked about a couple, but name one way to eat more beans without increased flatulence. What should you do to the beans so that you can eat them without having any kind of gas issues or anything like that? Okay, most pens have stopped. All right. What are the 4 primary ways the body eliminates waste daily? We talked about this several times. There's 4 main ways the body gets rid of its waste on a daily basis. What are those 4 ways? If you can't remember all 4, write down the ones you can remember. The next question and a half are easier questions. It's more for my personal feedback. So, what is your favorite recipe that you have actually made from this class? I'll be interested to know, if any. If you haven't made anything from class, that's an answer as well. And the last question, I guess, is technically 11. What is your favorite recipe that you've eaten in this class? You may not have made it, but the favorite one that you've eaten in this class. Is that hard? I thought that was going to be an easy question. That's encouraging. That's encouraging. Okay. And like I said, the last 2 questions were selfish reasons. I told you I'm working on a cookbook, and I want to see what you are gravitating towards. Like a real cookbook, not a printout of my recipes, like an actual cookbook. So, okay, so pop quiz or memory call game is over. So we're going to go ahead and go through the answers, okay? So question number 1, how much fiber per major meal at a minimum are you looking for? Who recalls? Crickets, really?
20, 25.
Okay, do you all know for much for the whole day? What's the... I mean, that would be ideal, but we're talking about what they recommend. We want to look for at least like 8 to 12 grams per major meal. somewhere in there. Per major meal, meaning if you eat 2 meals a day, if you eat breakfast and lunch, that's what we're talking about. It's not talking about if you have a snack or something like that. Your major meals
8 to 12 grams.
at a minimum.
And what does that look like in terms of a teaspoon? Is that a teaspoon maybe? I've just,
So 4 grams is a teaspoon.
okay, 4 grams is a teaspoon. Thank you.
Yep. All right. So I see I need to re-emphasize that point. Okay. Note to self. Okay. Question number 2. I think we're going to come back around. What's the minimum percentage for something to be excellent? Like, what is an excellent source of iron? That means it has at least what percentage? 20% is correct. Okay, that's great. And that's just for the daily value. That's not if you are super low in iron, have any other health issues. That's just the bare minimum so that you don't die, essentially, okay? All right, what temperature should you eat your food and drink your liquids? Room temperature. That is correct. That's correct. We can talk about the why again later, but at least y'all remember that. You should not be having super hot food or super cold ice cream or drinks with ice cubes in them. Okay, especially if you have digestive issues. Okay, it's going to further impede your digestion, but we'll talk about that some more a little bit later. All right, number 4. What is soluble fiber and what does it do for the body? It does bind. Binds what? It does. It gets rid of any excesses, right? So it gently coats your gastrointestinal tract, and it grabs extra stuff. So if you have an excess, like for women, if you have excess estrogen or excess testosterone, which is a lot of the problem women have, excess testosterone or excess cholesterol, you have to be able to poop it out, and you have to be able to poop that out through soluble fiber. Anybody recall some really good sources of soluble fiber? We made a recipe recently that's like really good for that. Chia seeds. Chia seeds, yes, it's really great. So anything that becomes gloopy, like slime, we talked about the okra, we talked about oatmeal, we talked about chia seeds, all that, anything that's kind of slimy, goopy, that's soluble fiber. And you want as much of that as you can get, okay? Okay. All right. Why is it best to avoid white rice, white flour, and white sugar? So yeah, there's many reasons. So yeah, it can spike your blood sugar because there's no fiber to help keep it neutral, right? The most of the nutrient is usually for white, like the white rice. The bran has been extracted. That's where all the nutrients are. So you're getting direct carbs and spiking your blood sugar. Yeah. So that's y'all did great with that one. Okay. Hopefully y'all gonna do great in this next one. Number 6. Why is it important to buy organic produce? No harmful pesticides.
And you're getting them more, hopefully more ripe, but they don't always grab it before it's too early. Most of the time, yes. So the main thing is that this dirt that is grown in has not been filled with crap, okay? And as we had in our demonstration when we had the 2 flours, it's not enough just to rinse it off because you can't rinse off something that's in the plant, in the cell walls of the plant. Okay, so that's why it's 20 cents more per pound for organic produce. But we vote with our dollars, so if people buy more organics, economies of scale will bring the price down even more. And then the demand hopefully will drive out this conventional produce, which is slowly making people sick in a way because it's bioaccumulates in the body. But that's a whole other conversation. All right, Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. Y'all remember what that is? No and yes? Okay. Well, we talked about there's the environmental working group, and every year they post a Clean 15 and a Dirty Dozen. The Dirty Dozen are the crops in the United States, this is specific to the United States, that are the most heavily sprayed crops with pesticides, herbicides, insecticides. And those are the ones that especially if money is an issue for buying everything organic, for buying everything organic, the stuff that's on the Dirty Dozen, you absolutely want to buy organic. Because it's just laden with crap on it, okay? On it and in it. So if you're going to buy something non-organic, then do it off the Clean 15 list, all right? And that's usually the stuff that has a peel and stuff on it, so you're not getting as much, but like your lettuces and your collard greens and stuff like that, you want to buy those things organic. Strawberries, I think the last 5 years have been the most
heavily sprayed crop in terms of produce, because cotton's the most heavily sprayed crop. But yeah, so you want to make sure you buy organic off the Dirty Dozen at a minimum if you're not buying everything organic. Okay. All right. So that was okay. Y'all got a C on that response. Okay. What about at least one way to eat beans or eat more beans without flatulence? That's the answer. More the answer I look for. Yeah, you can use the baking soda. That's one way. Yes. So first of all, just to soak them first of all, and make sure you clean out the rinsing water, right? So soak them, but soak them with a strip of seaweed like kombu, because that's what it does. It soaks up those anti-nutrients, and that way it doesn't get in your body. And that's the part that your body's having a hard time digesting, especially if you're currently not eating enough beans. Because as we've talked about, all the blue zones in the world, which is all the places where people on average live to 100, beans are a staple of their diet. That's their main source of protein. That's their carb source. You know, it's a slow burning carb. So eat more beans. That equals longevity. Okay. All right, and the last kind of real question, number 9, what are the 4 primary ways the body eliminates waste on a daily basis? Sweat. Urinating, pooping, and exhale. A+ on that answer. Okay, all right, so something got through all the way. Huh? Exhaling. Yes, so you want to exhale every day, which is so you can be alive, right? You want to urinate every day. You should be pooping every day. So if you have 1 major meal a day, you should be pooping once a day. If you have 2 major meals a day, you should be pooping twice a day. If you have 3 major meals a day, you should be pooping 3 meals a day. Okay, and if you're not, something is getting clogged up in there because it should be coming out. Your bowel transit time should be 18 hours, but we can talk about that more. I had to do another little skit to help make that resonate. Okay, that's locked in. Okay, and I said everything, right? So, and sweat, right? So you want to move your body every day. So if you can't get outside and walk, I mean, you can go against the wall in your chair. You can always do something in your house. Don't give yourself the excuse that you can't afford a gym membership. You don't have a dog to walk. It's raining outside. Get up and do something, okay? Or sit down and do something. But do something, right? And even if you can't do it until you sweat, just do something and you'll build up, right? Don't beat yourself up. If you can't do 20 minutes and break out into a sweat right now, that's too much. If you do 5 minutes, you did 5 minutes more than you did yesterday, okay? So just do something, all right? And be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Okay, so then my selfish questions. Number 10. Number 10, what is your favorite recipe that you've actually made at home yourself? I'm just out of curiosity. Kale salad. The kale salad, that's a favorite. The kale salad. You made the Nigerian meat pies. Okay. The ewariro, the Nigerian stewed beans. Okay, that's a personal favorite. The apple granola. The apple granola. Okay. Okay.
I like the sun-dried, what is it, the sun-dried tomato, garlic pasta, whatever that one.
Oh, I haven't made that in a while.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I made it.
Okay, yeah, that's a throwback. I like that. Oh, okay. The apple granola? Okay. Oh, the blueberry crisp? Okay. And then the last question, what's your favorite recipe that you've tasted in this class? Blueberry crisp. Ooh, good. Meat pie, okay. Okay, those are good. Okay. Okay, I was not expecting those responses. Okay, that's really helpful actually. Okay, so thank you. So hopefully you all feel like y'all retained some stuff. I see some points I need to reiterate, and that's totally fine. But now we're going to segue into our first recipe. Hey, come on. Did you see the mine? He can get you a chair. Okay. Rashida, get you a chair. All right, so our apple oatmeal raisin cookies. So I say they're lightly sweetened. So I like this recipe because the only quote unquote sugar in it is coconut sugar, and it's only I think 1/3 of a cup, and 1 apple, a whole apple, and raisins. So I put apple oatmeal raisin cookie because that's what's in it, but
normally when you see an oatmeal raisin cookie, you see the oats and you see the raisins. The raisins are kind of obliterated in the batter because it's more used as a sweetener. Okay, so you won't see like hunks of raisins in it. But you can do it if you make this recipe. If you want hunks of raisins in, you can. You don't have to blitz it as long. So let me just wash my hands real quick, and we will get going. All right. Okay. Sorry. Okay. All right. So let me come over here. So like I like to do for this class, I try to do as many dump and go recipes as possible. So this is a dump and go in a food processor. I'm sure you are going to ask me, can you do this in a blender? Technically, yes. It's ideal in a food processor. Can you do this by hand and mix and bowl? Yes. It will just take you a lot longer. Okay. So we're just going to just put that out there. So we're starting with some oats. I'm using these extra thick, organic rolled oats. You can use whatever oats you like. If you want to use oat groats like we talked about, I wouldn't really recommend the instant oats. That's just a personal thing, but I didn't bring my 1 cup. The difference is it's more processed. So these are semi-processed. The oat groat is what comes off the plant, and it's very hard. And so those get cut, and that's how you get steel cut oats. From there, you take those oat groats, they roll them out and steam them, and that's how you get these oats. Then they take these oats and they steam them some more, and that's how you get instant oats. So it's been processed a couple of times.
Would the steel oats work with that recipe?
Yes.
Okay.
It will make it have a more of a chewy texture. The texture of these cookies, I consider them like a breakfast cookie. It's soft, like a soft, I don't want to say soft serve because it's not like that, but you see what I'm saying?
Sprouted oats work for this recipe?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they'll be a little bit softer. Like the first test batch I did was with the sprouted oats, and they're just softer than this. And so I just thought you all have more of a traditional feel with these. Yep. But you know I love my sprouted oats now. All right. The next ingredient is 1/3 cup of coconut sugar. And so why is this sugar a little bit better than white sugar? Well, it's some processing and it had to be dried and all that, but it still retains what? Yeah, so it still retains the minerals, it still retains the fiber, right, which white sugar does not have. All right, in this recipe, I put walnuts, and walnuts are really good. So when you think of walnuts, what things should immediately come to your mind?
Protein.
Okay, yeah, protein, yep. What else does it have in a high amount that a lot of other things really don't have? Omega-3s, yes. So I actually have a little bit of allergy to walnuts when they're raw. So you can use pumpkin seeds, you can use sunflower seeds like I have today. I just didn't put the walnuts in, but you absolutely can. So for the recipe today, in case I taste test it, I want to be able to taste it and not need an EpiPen. So I put in the sunflower seeds, okay? But I put them in the recipe because they're healthy, okay? And if you can tolerate raw nuts, do it, okay? All right, so next we have 3/4 cup of raisins. Now this is the only ingredient. My grocery stores let me down, did not have any organic ones in stock. So we had to go with good old Sun-Maid, unfortunately, okay? So sorry about that, guys. I did try. I went to I spend my life driving to grocery stores. But I actually enjoy it, though. It's actually I guess that's my hobby, I suppose. Okay. When I don't have time most of the time. Because I give it some encouragement. Okay. All right. And so again, this is acting as our natural sweetener. And so you'll see, of course, there's no eggs in this. You'll see there's no oil. Okay. We have a whole fat source, and there's no refined sugar. So it's a whole lot of no's, but it's still a lot of flavor. Okay. So don't. All right. So we're going to have a 1/2 cup of almond butter. Now I had already scooped. I thought. Oh no. It's the rest of this can. I don't know. Do y'all know this trick? When you buy, hey, Coretta, when you buy butters, like nut and seed butters, store it like this. Okay? So sometimes when you open it up and it's like a brick. Okay, to avoid it being a brick, the oils will come to the top, and so you can scoop it out easily. Okay, so just store it like that. If you store it like this, then all the oils go down to the bottom. Yeah. Okay, pro tip. I put that one on Instagram and see how it comes out. Because when I bought it yesterday, it was super hard on top, and I just had it sitting upside down overnight. So 1/2 cup. So I already took out a 1/2 cup, and there's a 1/2 cup remaining because I did my test batch from the same almond butter. So I get to save a measuring cup on that. And that's all.
Can you substitute the almond butter or peanut butter for the cashew butter in the
Absolutely.
bars? Okay.
Absolutely. And the other recipe? In the other recipe or this recipe?
Chocolate bars.
Yes, you can. You can use any other nut or seed butter. I only pick cashew butter because there's a neutral taste. If you put something like a peanut butter, then they become peanut butter chocolate chip. Like you'll taste the peanut butter, right?
Cashew butter is hard to find and it's expensive.
It is expensive. It is expensive. Yeah, but it's so good. But it is the pricier nut butter. Yes. You can also use sunflower seed butter. That's actually my first choice. I just really started using more nuts and seeds and butters because I always had an allergy with tree nuts. So, but yeah, you can always substitute that, and you can always use tahini. Okay, you can always use tahini. Okay, so we got our almond butter in there. Are you all following along the website? For those who might be new, all the recipes for every class are on the website, thenaijagoddess.com/recipes, and the 3 recipes we're going to do for the week will appear as the top 3 now. So you can always follow along, so I don't have to keep printing out so many recipes like I was doing before. Okay, so we have the almond butter. So now we have our apple. So this is one, see, it's organic. See how tiny it is? The one I tested with was larger than this, but it's fine. So I'm just going to quarter this just so I can take off the stem. And take out the seed. All right. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. See, it's a dump and go. You can't make regular cookies this fast, can you? And anytime you make anything sweet, you always want to add just a pinch of salt because that will actually enhance the sweet flavor. So don't forget that. Sugar on sugar doesn't make it more sweet. The salt makes it more sweet. All right, and now we're going to do a teaspoon of baking soda and baking powder.
It's a 4 teaspoon of the baking soda.
Thank you. Whoops. Okay. It's the other Lord have mercy. And I'm looking dead at it too. That's the sad part. And I still said a teaspoon. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So we have a 1/4 teaspoon, right? Oh, that was actually baking. I did it backwards. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put 4 more in. That's fine. Thank you. That's why I need y'all to follow along. And then how much of the bacon? Okay, and then a teaspoon, a quarter teaspoon of this. Okay. All right. So that's our chemical leavener. Okay. What else we have? Now 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I have Ceylon cinnamon here. Does anybody recall why we try to get Ceylon cinnamon versus the traditional cinnamon that you find in grocery stores? Anyone recall? It's because of the heavy metals, and in this cinnamon, it can be released in the body. It's not bound, and so we want to try to avoid increasing heavy metals. Okay, and then we have vanilla, which I'm always a little heavy-handed on. So do what you will with that.
I found the natural vanilla.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, where?
Costco's.
Oh,
Costco's now is have the Madagascar and they have natural vanilla stems.
we don't have a Costco in Gastonia. We have a Sam's Club, and they are not hitting on much. Yeah, it seems like Costco has everything. Okay, so I'm going to pulse this really quickly, and I'm going to let this run for like 60 seconds, and it will become a batter. Okay, so while that's doing this thing, I have a parchment lined sheet. It's the same parchment I did the test cookies on this morning, so I just flipped it over. And I have a scoop, and this is a 2 tablespoon scoop or a number 24 scoop. If you don't have a number 24 scoop, you can use a tablespoon and just do it twice, or make it whatever size you want. It's not, it's not fixed like that where it will just fall apart. This is not a fall apart kind of recipe. Okay. It wants to show out in front of y'all. There it goes. Okay. So I'm going to just give it a quick little stir. Let it blitz one more time, and then we'll be ready to scoop and bake. And that's it. There we go. So now it's a batter. Now we've got our batter. Let's see. Am I in the camera? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's a real batter. All right. So all I'm going to do now is take our sheet and our scoop, and we're going to do these scoops. And then we're going to bake these for 18 minutes. I think I want to do 3 across. Hold on. This one I want to do 3 across. Yep.
Question. If you wanted to, can you just eat that as a raw?
Yeah. It smells awesome.
Put the baking soda powder in it with it.
No, you would kind of taste that.
Yeah.
If you have a discriminating palate, you would definitely kind of taste it.
Everything else would say the same.
Mm-hmm. But don't overindulge. This is nutrient dense, right?
Yeah.
So, really, one cookie is good to go. This is a snack. This will definitely hold you over.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like the dates, 2 dates is a serving.
Now the other thing, if you wanted to do dates, how would you convert the raisins to the date amounts that you would put in there? If you want to do dates instead of raisins, I wonder how would you convert that?
So 3/4 cups of raisins would be about
8 dates. Yeah, because about 12 dates is a cup. So for major dates, huh?
Could you use the goji berries?
You can. It would not be nearly as sweet.
Oh, okay.
But I would highly encourage to add them in addition to. It would be a good. It would have add a nice texture and flavor.
If you could use the goji berries instead of
Have got some extra batter. Y'all want to taste the batter that's remaining? We can do that. So then now I'm going to just push these down just so they'll look like cookies. If you leave them like this, they'll cook. Like my first test batch, they'll just dome. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a look thing. So just so they kind of look like a cookie. My husband said they taste like Energy Bite cookies. That's what he said. So I said, okay, we'll go with that then. So just press those down and then bake. And now you can store these in the airtight container. They'll last about 4 to 5 days and still be soft. And like I said, super quick. So you see there's no oil added. We have a whole fat source. We have a whole sugar, an unrefined sugar source. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna pop these in there. Somebody set their timer for 18 minutes. And then later, like you want to taste this dough. If you want to do it like that, we can taste the dough. So I'll just leave it like this, semi-covered. All right, we're gonna go to our next recipe. Moving right along. All right, so next one is our Thai-inspired Asian noodle salad. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pass around. Oh, this goes over here. These noodles. So I try to bring you all different things. You all know my preference are the kelp noodles because they have lots of minerals and no calories, basically, essentially. And they can be eaten raw. So this recipe, you can totally use the kelp noodles. You can use really any noodle you want. Hopefully just make it a whole food type of one. Again, grocery stores let me down. They did not have brown rice noodles in stock. They were sold out. So these are regular white rice noodles. So I'm going to pass these around so you all can see if you're not familiar with them. And we're going to give these a quick boil. So let's see. How long did you say to?
Where do you go there?
Don't make me lie. I went to too many grocery stores. I can't remember exactly which one I got from. Yeah, every grocery store has these. Yeah, Food Line definitely had them. That's the last store I went to. But I don't think I got them from Food Line. Okay, so we're going to cook these for 4 to 6 minutes. They cook very quickly. I already have the water boiling because y'all know how this stove does not like to, get hot or get too hot. So now, I am more than doubling this recipe for all of you guys, okay? But the regular recipe serves 4, and you wouldn't use this whole pack because this is not a noodle dish. This is a noodle salad, okay? That means vegetables comprise the meal with some noodles in it for texture, okay? All right, so just make sure you don't go home and make this for yourself and say I'm eating the salad. Okay.
We wouldn't do that.
And this is unsalted water. So it's 4 to. Uh-oh. Okay. We lost one. All right. So can someone set their alarm for, let's say, 5 minutes? I'm going to check in 5. So while that's happening, we have the salad portion. And most of the legwork on a salad is super easy. I actually hand shredded using this box grater some purple cabbage. You can use purple cabbage or green cabbage, whichever you want. And this salad, you can, if you claim you don't like cabbage, I encourage you to start to like it. But you can use whatever vegetables you like. If you want to put it in broccoli, if you want to put it in whatever you want,
use. Like this is a great recipe for when produce is starting to, you know, and you need to clean out your refrigerator, make a salad, okay? So this is a great one for that. So we have you can't see it right now. I'm out the way. The red cabbage on the bottom. Then I sliced 2 red bell peppers. And then I bought some organic shredded carrots where you can shred it yourself. And then I just diced some green onion. So here's the base of our salad. You can hand shred it. Don't do that. You can hand shred it. Lord have mercy. Or you can put it in a food processor with the shredding attachment and just zoop and do it like that, okay? So that's how I normally do it. So we have the base of our salad here. Once these noodles are cooked, we're gonna merge them together. But what we're gonna do next is make the sauce that's gonna go over all this. And I would have to say from experience, this salad tastes way better the next day after they've had time to like chill out and hang out with each other. So we're going to, I already measured this out. So here we have some peanut butter. Try to get it all in there. Someone set their timer for the noodles, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say my sense of time up here is warped. Okay. All right, so I try to get all of this stuff, not cheap. Okay, so we've got that. What else do we need? Garlic. Let's see. Oh, forgot. So I have edamame I'm adding to the salad as well. The fresh ones, these are the frozen ones that have defrosted. And this just increases the protein even more in the salad. And if you don't like edamame or can't find it, I think a great bean substitution are cannellini beans, the white beans. That's a great substitution in the salad. Put whatever bean that you can eat and get down, you should put it in here. Just say that, okay? Whatever your choice is. But I think edamame or even a chickpea would be good in here too. Okay, so for making the sauce, so the garlic cloves, now I already had this measured out. Okay, here we go. This is it, okay. All right, so 1 garlic clove, I'm going to double that, and the ginger. Okay. Now the soy sauce. So I have to add 4 tablespoons. Where my thing goes? Sorry, guys. Can y'all still see me over here? All this stuff. Y'all can see what's happening. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I'm 4Xing this recipe. Okay, so. I know that sometimes that gets confusing. All right, so we have that. And the rice vinegar. This is the one I had in the house. They said seasoned rice vinegar. The regular one I had was already finished from some other recipe we did in here. So we're gonna do the same thing. This is how the recipe differs from the other sauce we did with the kelp noodle salad. We use lime juice for that one. This one we're using vinegar to make it more of a salad-y flavor. That's what people are used to. All right.
I made the kelp noodle salad, and it's not good the next day. It's the fresh salad in the wheels.
If it's pre-mixed, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep the salad greens separate. You're absolutely,
Okay.
yep. Mm-hmm.
You just mix it in as you go.
Mm-hmm. That's for the noodles. Thank you. Let's see, where my tongs go? On my face. Okay. I think we're good there. Here's what we're going to do. Have this little nifty thing here. It makes life easier. So now you can just pour and not worry
Where did you get that?
Amazon. I got kicked out the Amazon affiliates program. I feel like they need to let me back in. I got kicked out. Okay. So we got our noodles. So that's half the battle. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that on. Okay. Finish it up over here. All right. So we had the rice vinegar, we did soy sauce. I was out of maple syrup, so I'm going to do half the amount of agave because agave is sweeter, and this is not supposed to be like a sweet, sweet sauce. All right. So that's like a tablespoon and a half. And then gochujang, my favorite. Make sure, because this might be a new one. Yes, a new one. I won't make it spicy for you guys, even though I don't even think this is spicy, the gochujang. So we would do 4 of these, so maybe I do 2.5. Are y'all feeling adventurous today?
Yeah.
All right, 3. We do 3. I don't want anybody spitting it out or anything like that. All right. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm glad you said it, Mike, because I need to put that in directions to not store it with the salad. And I didn't even think to put that there.
Trying to figure that out the next day.
My bad. My bad. Don't fire me yet. Don't fire me yet. Okay, yeah. That's the stuff I need to know because I don't think about it when I'm putting it in there. Okay. And then we have sesame oil, pure sesame oil, not the stuff mixed with canola oil that's only costs $2, okay? This is the flavor. So when we use oil, we use it intentionally. Okay? I always say I should have had that on the pop quiz too. Y'all need a reboot of that one. Okay. All right, so I put in a tablespoon of the sesame oil and then water. Let's see. I'm getting a little full. I should have brought my larger cup against my better judgment. I'll add more water afterwards. Let's just go ahead and get this going. Then y'all can have your first meal. Let's see. Everyone has a bowl or plate or something? Take one and pass it down. Okay. So super quick. My hands are greasy. I need a man. Oh, it turned it more. Sometimes it turns it more. Thank you. He loosened it.
I'll take that.
And I was going to add a little bit more water just to thin it out some more. Okay. Almost there. Okay, so you see how y'all wake up when y'all know food's coming? Okay.
I know.
You put the big bowls and put stuff in there. Okay, I think we are cooking with some grease. It's completely oily. Do you mind? One more time. Thank you. All right. So everyone's good now? All right. Let me just taste this and make sure we're good.
Okay. We're good. All right, thank you. Take off my little handy dandy. No, I need to water the bowl again. So we're gonna put our rice in. So again, when you buy these, if you decide to do rice noodles, please get the brown rice noodles if you can find them. They look very similar, and the taste is very similar too.
Can I ask you, can you use the sorbet, the S-O-B-O noodles?
Soba noodles?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use any noodle you want.
Okay.
Yep. Here's our salad portion. All that colorful goodness. Because you're supposed to eat the rainbow every day, right? And again, you can use green cabbage or whatever. Purple's my favorite color, so I tend to go for that one every time. Who said something? Oh. It is. Look at that. Can y'all see this? It's absolutely beautiful. Okay. And the heat kind of takes some of the bitterness off of the cabbage, and then you got the little bit of the carrot and the red bell pepper in there for sweetness. Hey babe, can you fill that pot back up with some halfway with water? Thank you. So hot water if you can. All right. And then I like to just kind of put a little bit of seasoning on this. I will also put cracked black pepper on there as well. When you season after, so if you go to culinary school, you're trained to season as you go, okay? Season every layer. But that's how the sodium in a recipe can build up very, very quickly. So you want to, the revised version of my cooking now, you season at the end. Halfway, okay. And this meal preps really well. As you can see, we quadrupled the recipe. This stores well because we're using cruciferous vegetables. The cabbage is not going to get soggy like the other vegetables would. The carrots hold up well. The red bell pepper holds up really well. The beans hold up well. So it's a great meal prep. So if you're going to make it, make a bunch of it and you can eat it. And then each day it tastes better. Thank you. No, I'm the one that's on. Thank you. All right. How much time left on the cookies? Okay. I don't quite smell them yet, but I'm smelling this. You smelling this or the cookies? Oh, okay. Now imagine you let this sit, how it just will marinate, and it will soften the vegetables even more. So this is a good mix of raw and cooked. It's a really good mix. Okay. And then if based on your preferences, if you need to add more salt and pepper, you can do that, or any other kind of seasoning, but you want to try to accept the minimum that your palate requires. All right, I think we can go ahead and serve. Y'all ready? Yeah. Okay. This is meant to be served as a cold noodle salad, so we will let this go to room temperature. We will store it in the refrigerator overnight so that all those flavors can really hang out, and then you eat it. It's intended to eat cold or / room temperature, not hot. Okay? All right. I also like to sprinkle hemp seeds on top and pumpkin and all that for some crunch. You couldn't find pumpkin seeds?
Here's Peter, the ones they had were like in the snack food area, and they were just totally covered.
They are. You have to, at Harris Teeter, you have to go in the produce section to get the raw pumpkin seeds. Mm-hmm. They may not know, but it's in the produce section. Cookies? Let's see. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut that off. Ooh. Okay, so let those cool off, and actually I'll go ahead and just make this other little small batch. Turn it back on. Thoughts? Oh, you take, really? Okay. Okay. Is this something, yeah? Okay. Is this something that y'all will make at home? Is it too much? Okay. I think of you every time. I try to make it as dump and go as possible. Okay. 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 I know I can get a few cookies out of this. I'm gonna go ahead and do that while y'all finish up eating that. And it's quite inexpensive to make this salad. You know, cabbage. I mean, that cabbage was 79 cents, and I used a whole small red cabbage. I think the most expensive thing in there is the edamame. And again, I gave you some other options, so should be no excuses, guys. Do you feel like you could be satisfied on this for if you ate this as a lunch? Okay, well that was the goal. So it sounds like mission semi-accomplished. Now, when you eat this tomorrow, I'm telling you, it's fire. It's yeah. Yeah, it doesn't get spicier, but it gets more flavorful. It gets more umami-ness. Okay. 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 So, somebody set their alarm for 18 minutes again? Starting to bubble over here. Okay, so our final recipe or our piece de resistance for today, right? Let me get our lesson plan going. Where's my brain dump? And see, I make all these notes so I don't forget to say stuff, and then I don't read my notes. Okay. Okay. All right. So our last dish of the day, I don't know if you've seen it on the website. So sometimes people are a little intimidated when they see a green dish. They're like, ugh, why is it green, right? Well, you should be eating something green every day, preferably every meal should have something green, okay? So this is called Palak Paneer. So if you go to an Indian restaurant, if you hear the word paneer, paneer means cheese. Yes, palak means spinach. Yes, just like gobi means cauliflower. Just the translation. So all it is a spinach curry. It's a natural vegetarian dish. I said vegetarian, not vegan, because paneer is cheese, right? And it's a cheese not like a cheddar cheese, something like that. The cheese are like blocks of cheese in the curry. And it has like a, people say like a cottage cheese vibe to it because it's thick. It's still soft. It's spongy, soft, and not a lot of flavors. Therefore, more the protein aspect of it. So our substitute is tofu, because tofu, once we're going to boil it, and that's going to help it. It's a total replica to the, my microphone, okay. A total replica to the paneer, the actual cheese that you would find in the Indian dish. So we boil it for like 2 minutes, and this time we're going to do it in salted water, and that's our chief substitute. The other thing that it tends to have is heavy cream. So heavy cream is clearly not vegan, clearly not healthy because it's very inflammatory. So our substitute for that are cashews, because you all seen me make a cashew cream many times before. So we add cashews to the sauce, and that makes it, that gives that body that heavy cream would, and then they have the tofu for the cheese. Again, you don't have to use, you can use any type of tofu you want. You can use chickpea tofu, pumpkin tofu, red curry, red lentil tofu, soybean tofu, whatever you feel like being bothered with. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. If y'all, because someone still can fact check me and keep me honest here. So the first thing I'm gonna wanna do after I clean my knife, okay. Ooh, I miss Kimberly. Let me clean this off real quick, guys. I'm gonna chop up this tofu. Okay. Now you can chop it however you want. It's not prescriptive in that way. So we just have a block of extra firm tofu. It does not need to be pressed. I've already kind of drained some of the water out. So I said, let me just do this in front of you guys so you can see there's no funny business happening. Okay, so I'm going to slice this in 3. And then I'm going to go across. I'm going to try to get 6 across. That's my goal. That's 3. Chop this in half, and then, okay, well I did 4 instead of 6. Try to get it this way. Oh, we're good, okay. Okay, now I would say, just from experience, you don't want to chop these too small, because when we do boil, it's already softened and it can start to kind of disintegrate. It's going to be soft, and it's supposed to be soft. It's supposed to have that texture, because that's what we're replicating the paneer. So now that we've reached a boil, I don't know if you all remember this little lesson I gave. I gave a pro tip a little while ago. If you're going to have salted water, you should wait for the water to boil before you add the salt. Does anyone recall why we do that? You do? It prevents rust from happening in your stainless steel pot, so you can get those rust stains. So the other thing is, if you put the salt in before it boils, it increases the temperature of the boiling point. So water boils at what temperature? 212. And you add the salt, I'm almost certain it raises it to 230. So it takes longer to boil. Okay, so let it boil first, then add the salt. So now you're not messing up your pots, and you know, it won't take as long for the water to boil. Okay, that's a little pro tip. And anytime something says salted water, it's supposed to taste like the ocean. So it's not like you put a pinch of salt in there. That's not doing anything. It's got to be salty. It doesn't necessarily get into the food, but it helps flavor the food better if you have enough salt in it. Okay. All right. We are close to a boil. Might have to switch eyes. Okay, while we're waiting for it to come to a boil, I'm going to go to the next part of the recipe. So we're going to go ahead and make the spinach sauce. And this is a simple, it's very much like the Asian salad we just did, where you just pretty much put everything in a blender and go. Now for this recipe, you do not have to have a Vitamix. It's definitely preferred, but you don't need a Vitamix. You can have a regular blender and get the job done. Because the hardest thing that the blender would have to blend is some ginger. And most regular blenders can handle that. Okay, so, all right. So if you've never had Palak Paneer before, you'll be in for a treat, hopefully. All right, so the first thing I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and add my water first. And that's what, is it a cup and a quarter or a cup and a half? What is it?
1 1/4.
It's what now?
1 1/4 cup.
1 1/4 cup? Where is that other cup? Why do I always do this to myself? Okay. Okay. If you don't have a high-speed blender, make sure you put your liquids on the bottom, okay? That's a little additional pro tip. Where's the recipe? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna put 10 ounces of spinach. Now the ones, I hate buying in these, wasteful plastic packaging, but that's the only one they had the organic in, so. When I went to the grocery store, they were like, every store was like restocking. I came at the wrong time. Every store I went to, I was like, y'all don't have anything in stock. And like, they had the stock people out. So, anyway. I've never tried this with frozen spinach. I'm sure the outcome is probably the same. It's a different color. But I try to use fresh wherever possible. All right, so that's only 5 ounces in that big container. So that's why we're doing 2 of them. So it's a great way to get your greens in. I'm still working on something. Because I promised you and Mike something for okra, so I've been working on it. Yes, I've been working on it. I have to make it not spicy and still be okay with it, with its overall flavor. And I'm not convinced yet. Okay, so we have the spinach. Okay, I need to get this out the way. This is what's confusing me. Thank you, babe. Isn't my husband wonderful? He really is. Okay. All right. So now we have our cashews. So because I have a Vitamix, I don't really have to soak them. So first of all, if any nut or seed, you should soak, period. Okay? I'm just not being a good steward of what I say. I don't have an issue digesting these, and when I've done it for you all in class, you all haven't had an issue. So, and it's such a small amount, I don't usually, I'm going to add the rest of those. Those were organic cashews, okay? So we have a cashew, we have the water, we have the spinach, the garlic cloves, okay? Ginger. Sorry guys, I'm displaced. Oh, it's over here. We've got the ginger. Now, 1 or 2? 2. These aren't hot peppers. These are not like the habanero. These are serrano peppers. So they have a little kick to it, but you should, okay. Okay. I got permission this time. So let's come over here. Yeah. There we go. All right. Now that that's a full boil before I do this spinach, let me go ahead and get the boiled tofu going. Where's the salt? Keeps disappearing. Sorry. Okay. All right, once I put this tofu in, I'm going to need someone to set a timer for 2 minutes. That's not what I was trying to do. 2 minutes. All right, go, whoever's doing it. Someone got it for 2 minutes? All right. Okay, thank you. Hey. All right, 2 minutes there. Okay, so now, and then we need a tomato. All right, wash this. This is an organic tomato. It was on the vine. Cute little thing. Get the whole tomato in. And some salt. All right, put the ginger in, yep, and some salt. This is pink Himalayan salt. And it's been tested to have the least amount of microplastics in it. There are some places you can go and buy salt that's been tested that has almost no microplastics in it, but it's at the point now because our waters are so polluted, most of the salt you buy has microplastics, so that's something to be aware of. So.
I read something recently, there's a salt mine out of Mexico,
Yep.
and they're selling it, and, okay.
I think we saw the same thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to check it out?
I always check out all that kind of stuff. I have so many salts and they.
Okay.
It depends on where you are on your journey. Let's let me say that. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna make this spinach sauce real quick. Can y'all see that? 2 minutes? Okay. Isn't that beautiful? It just looks like health. Now y'all know that's hot, right? Y'all can just pour like this. Okay. All right, make sure I get one more good thing out. All right, so our cheese is ready. I'll let that sit right there for a sec. Oh, actually, no, I'm not, because I need the pot. So I'm going to put this in a bowl right here. Okay, oh, that's fine. Okay. So now we're going to put a tablespoon and a half coconut oil. And we're going to, most any dishes is about the spices, right? So we're going to start with cumin seed. I think was it a teaspoon?
Yes.
All right. Now, if you don't feel like going out and buying it, you can use ground spices, okay? So it's the same amount. So you can use a teaspoon of cumin, ground cumin, if you don't want to go out and find the cumin seed. All right, I'm going to let that, because I'm doing the cumin seed, I'm going to let that kind of, get the flavor going. You'll start to smell in just a sec. And then I'm going to add my onions, right? Okay. And then I'm going to add my garlic. I'm going to go ahead and put the bay leaf in there. All right. So here we go. Okay, what else? What's next? Add in the garlic and what now? Is it a 1 teaspoon of everything? I can't remember. But everything else is a teaspoon? Now ground turmeric If you put too much in, it can be bitter. Okay, so, and it can overpower a dish very easily. So if you make like the tofu eggs that we did, if you put too much turmeric to make it too yellow, it'll be bitter. It doesn't taste really that great.
So what's the ratio of it when you do it?
It's on your tolerance level. I would say 1 to 4. So if you're doing a teaspoon of everything else, I would do a quarter of turmeric to start. I only add in a quarter teaspoon in this particular recipe just for color, because it won't really come through because the whole dish is going to be green. All right. Okay, so now we need a teaspoon of coriander. And who remembers, coriander is what? There we go, it's the seed. And then a teaspoon of garam masala. We could put this in later at the end to make it have more of a punch of spice. But taste the recipe as is first, and if you want more spice in terms of flavor, not in terms of heat, then you can do that more towards the end so it doesn't meld as much. It'll stand out more. So that's why the directions are written that way, which I don't have with me. Forgot my pepper mill. And what else? Bay leaves in there.
Cook for a minute and add the sauce.
We're going to go ahead and add the sauce anyway.
And tofu.
All right. So this is very simple, guys, as you can see. So you can have Indian takeout at home.
Beautiful. 18 minutes on the cookie.
The cookies are done?
Yes.
Okay. I'll let those cool right here. My hand's way too small for this. Slide right into your mouth. Okay. All right. So we're going to pour our green goods. Now this is something now, the final product is supposed to be green. So if you make this at home and it's brown, you have cooked it to death. Okay. So that's why when you add this in, turn your heat down, okay, so it doesn't cook as fast. This is just to let everybody just say, hey, how are you? Get to know each other a little bit before it goes in y'all's bellies. I made the rice that's sitting at home on the kitchen table. The brown rice that you're supposed to eat with is sitting in my kitchen on the counter. Oh, it totally, that's not the experience you're supposed to have. But I made 6 cups of brown rice. And I made it last night to make sure it's prepared for today, and it's sitting right anyway. My sincere apologies, Lord. That makes me want to cry almost. Like that really sucks. Okay, well the show must go on, right? Okay.
And we're going to love you regardless.
Well, I appreciate y'all's support. I really do. Man, that's not what I wanted. Oh, I can I can make another pack of noodles. It's totally different experience still, but okay. All right, so we let these play for a little bit just so the tofu can absorb a little bit of flavor. But remember, the paneer itself doesn't really have flavor. It's there for nutrition and just a slight textural difference. And that's why the brown rice is important, because you have the chewiness from the brown rice to give you some added texture. Man, That kind of went up my cells. Whew. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. And we got new people here, and they're like, I need to be kinder to myself, yes. But
One thing about this city, we're all family.
that's right. I really appreciate y'all, man. Okay. Okay. All right, so what we do when you finish it off, I'm going to, so we're going to let this, that's a lot of water, it's not going to boil fast. Okay, yeah, plan B. We're going to do it over rice noodles. Sorry, babe. And they don't take but 5 minutes to cook, but we just got to let it come to a boil. So we'll see how fast that comes to a boil. We'll pass out the cookies in the interim, get your feedback on that. And so when we're finishing the sauce, when we add our citrus in, remember we're supposed to do it off heat. Does anybody remember why? It can be bitter if you heat it up, especially on a high heat. So you can do lime or lemon. I'm going to start with lemon and see where we are with it. Wait a sec. I keep their focus before I lose them. Okay. This is another cool tool that you can use to pick up pastas or whatever. I've got lots of gadgets. Y'all really don't know. Because I have a kitchen on 2 levels of the house. So I have a test kitchen downstairs, and then I have our main kitchen on the main floor. And then we're going to put a kitchenette on the 3rd floor. So 3. Yeah. Okay, so we add in that, and when you add in citrus, you usually have to add less salt because your tongue recognizes that kind of the same. So add salt absolutely last after you've added in your citrus. I would add in more citrus before I add in the salt, personally. You don't want to stir too hard because you don't want to break up the tofu. And you see we're still retaining our bright green color, which is so beautiful. And then we're going to add in some cilantro, which I already diced and prepared, which is moved. Here it is. I always think cilantro makes everything better. What's cilantro's biggest claim to fame that I always talk about in the class? Okay. I'll start with that. I will add the whole thing if it was at my house, but let me be mindful of a neutral palates, not overwhelmed. So I'm going to do a quick taste, and then, we're almost boiling over here. Where's spoons go? Y'all have the spoons? The bag of spoons that are up here? Huh? Do you see them, Angela? I just need a taste. Thank you, Heather. Okay. Thank you so much. Need some salt. And some pepper, in my opinion, but some salt. But I think y'all will like it. All right. Because we haven't added salt to this yet. Add lime juice. Now we talked about, is this lime ripe or unripe?
Right.
Why?
Because of the yellow spot. It's not totally green.
Y'all getting it. Y'all getting it. I love it. Remember, if you want, if your fruit is ripe, the best thing is you should be able to smell it. If it doesn't smell like what it is, it's not ripe. Okay? When you roll a lime or a lemon, like I just did, if it doesn't smell like a lime or a lemon, it is not ripe. If you can't tell by the color. Because only lemons in this country are yellow. You go anywhere else, the lemons are green. So oranges are green everywhere else too.
Why are they different colors here?
Huh?
Why are they different here?
for various reasons. Some of it is a different species. Some of it is just they design fruit to make it look more appealing. So, but the original ones were green. Like so, like the peel on the orange is actually green. If you go to Nigeria, you go to Italy. I mean, it's like that too. They're green. I used to spend a lot of time in Florence, Italy, and in Nigeria, it's always green. So you cut into something that looks like a lime, and then you see the orange on the inside of it. So just be aware. So that's why you should know, if you're not just looking on the outside, just know other ways to tell if your fruit is, yes.
Sweet potato from one of the farmers market, and when you opened it inside, it wasn't that orangey. It was like almost like a white, almost like a peach.
That's a Japanese sweet potato. That's one of my favorites. I use those. I make like a eggnog with those, or any kind of pudding. If you want to make a pudding that's not chocolate, if you want, you know how we make our chocolate pudding with orange sweet potatoes, you use the white sweet potatoes. You can make a vanilla pudding with it the same way. And the white sweet potatoes, they taste like sweet potato, but they have a slightly caramel kind of flavor to it. So they're really nice. Okay, so it's about to boil. We'll pass out cookies. Okay, breakfast bars. Okay, lightly sweetened breakfast bars. And I love your feedback on this. Your honest feedback, as you all always come with. I think we're cooled down mostly. Yeah, these are still not there. They need to cool down. All right. Okay. Thank y'all for y'all's patience, man. Seriously, that just bummed me out. Well, we're having brown rice for the next 3 nights. That's just, yeah.
Hey, make sure Mal gets that brown rice.
He would definitely. Okay. Is it enough for everyone to get one, or is it 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? Yeah, 17. No, those aren't ready yet. No. They're not ready yet. Okay, there we go. We're boiling now. The tongs. Okay, thank you. Okay, so 5-minute timer. So you got 5 minutes, Angela? Por favor. Huh? You're supposed to cool. Okay. Y'all can go ahead and eat the breakfast bar if you want. Oh, really? Okay. Not too sweet, but sweet enough? Okay. Oh, I didn't realize they hadn't gotten any. I thought everyone had enough for one. Oh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have done you like that, Laura. Somebody asked me a question? Okay. You really only need one. Okay. It will tie you over to the next meal. You know, make sure especially if you're properly hydrated, because most of the time when you feel hungry, you're actually thirsty, right? You should be eating a lot less. You're usually thirsty, because that's the same trigger in your brain as thirst and hunger. So, yeah. Is that a cookie that you all can see yourselves making? It's not difficult. You like? Okay. Cookie for breakfast. Or snack. Yeah, it's soft, and it's still soft the next day. So I made these 2 days ago and yesterday, and the one from 2 days ago is still soft like today, which was the goal. That was the objective. So that's why there was the almond butter in there does that, because that's the fat, the whole fat. I use almond butter in this one. You can use whatever nut or seed butter. You can put tahini in these cookies too. I mean, whatever, as long as it's a whole fat. So, we try to avoid oil. So,
want to ask you, when you talk about a full meal, what is the measurement of that? I know that sometimes I said the size of your hand, but you say even a full meal you should have
Okay.
8 to 12 grams. So what is considered a major meal?
A major meal is breakfast, lunch, or dinner. When you talk about the hand thing, that's usually the size of your protein portion, right? Your protein portion should not be larger than the size of your hand. So that makes a proportion to your body size. So if you're a 300-pound bodybuilder, you're going to have a little bit bigger of a hand typically than like my little hands. So that's it should not exceed that. But you want to. It's not I can't give you a standard answer across the board. I would say for Heather, for your body type and where you are, this would be ideal because what you need, what he needs, what she needs is going to be different, right? But you want to keep your proportions. If you have half your plate as non-starchy vegetables, you have 25% protein and 25% of whole grain. That's a good starting point. Then if you have different goals, like if you are trying to be a bodybuilder, then we have to adjust those proportions. If you're pregnant, you have to adjust those proportions. But just across just a general, half your plate, non-starchy vegetables or fruit, and then you have your whole grain and your protein source, preferably plant. Okay.
A lunch dish that I take, and it's one of those ones that it's real cute, it collapses, but I realize each of the portions is 4 portions in 1 cup. And I said, is that too much to eat in 1 meal? I think it may, because that means you eat 4 cups of food, no matter what it is.
It depends on the person.
Okay.
It depends on their objective.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't be on camera saying like across the board you should do this or anything like that. Like it depends on the situation. But like I said, the general rule in terms of just maintenance and general health, you want to make sure you're getting in plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. Make sure there's something green in your plate. Make sure there's something raw that you're eating for the digestive enzymes. And you don't want to have the wrong proportion. You don't want a big hunk of protein, whatever that protein source is, and a little dribble of vegetables, right? You don't want it. You flip it around. Make sure you're eating whole grains that are fully intact, so not white rice or anything like that. You want to eat like fonio or brown rice or whatever, wild rice, to get all that in there. So you have your timer. How much time was left?
We got 35 seconds.
Okay. All the time.
Okay, question. When you do it in your rice cooker? You make it,
I've actually never made it in a rice cooker. I do it in a saute pan.
so what you add a little bit more heat. When I do it, to me it's too, I make it too soft, so I'm thinking I want to do, I need very little water, just steam it maybe.
I would say that's not, in my opinion, cauliflower rice is not a beginner-friendly recipe because, okay, thank you, because it does very easily become soggy and it doesn't feel like rice. I can bring it in here and show you the technique because it's different ways to do it. I've never tried it in a rice cooker. I just know that I just have a very strong sense it will be soggy.
So I didn't like it, but the other day, I went to Whole Foods, and they had it, but of course they had it in this, and it was nice and fluffy, just like real rice. And I don't know how to make it that way without the Whole Foods rice, but
Yeah, I make a cilantro lime cauliflower rice, and I can make a recipe like that. Like I said, I'm still working on y'all's okra recipe. I have your. I'm working on something. Okay, just needs a hair more. And we're good there. Looks like we're good here. And then we'll serve this up. So the breakfast cookie seems to be semi-successful. Okay. It's a little hot for me to touch. Okay. So I'm gonna add another half teaspoon of salt, and I think we'll be good to go. That's perfect. All right, so y'all ready? I know y'all ready. Y'all waiting on me this time.
All right. I'm going to fish out this bay leaf. It has served its purpose. Okay, I think that's it. So once y'all get y'all's rice noodles, we will serve the Palak Paneer. I think I want to add the rest of the cilantro in there. I'm trying to resist the urge. Okay. All right, so we rebounded with the plan B. That's good. Y'all have any questions? Okay. Huh? Hey, Lou. Huh? Where are the bowls, y'all? Oh, here's one. Oh, okay.
You know what the breakfast cookie? The breakfast cookie, that was very, very good. My
Okay.
daughter's always buying boxes and boxes of those, what is it, the bars, the breakfast bars. And I'm looking at her like, you really just eating a bunch of sugar and everything. She's like, it's healthy, it's healthy. I'm like, no, it's not.
Most of those, I'm gonna say 98% of those healthy bars are not healthy.
And I look at it and I'm trying to, show her the ingredients and everything, but she knows everything at that age.
Oh, they,
Now I
yeah.
would love to make the cookies and then show her what I'm putting into it. I'm gonna get your recipe off and make those, and that way see she'll switch. It's like this is.
And you can double the recipe very easily and batch it. You can batch the dough batter itself and freeze it and have it for later. Or you can make the cookies and freeze them as well and put parchment paper in between them. And or you can double the recipe and have enough as snacks and for breakfast and stuff.
Yeah, they're very filling when you don't need to sit around like eating regular cookies.
Right.
One is good. I'm down.
One is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's nutrient dense. Okay. All right. So y'all got the rice noodles. So now here comes the Palak Paneer. So the soft texture of the cheese in there, and you've got lots of spinach, lots of goodness.
I love Tuscany soup.
Oh,
It was so good. So I was at Olive Garden and I ordered it and I was so disappointed. This was it had any of the flavor. It was just like white potato soup with a couple of sprigs of kale in there and one little tiny piece of sausage. And I was like, oh my God, I just want to send this back. It's like yours.
I'm copying them from what I remember in those days of eating it. Okay, I received it. Thank you.
Yes. You ruined me for this.
That's really interesting. It's been at least 10 years since I've eaten it. Maybe even 12 years.
When I saw it on the menu, I got so excited.
I used to love it. I used to kill it. So I don't know. Yeah. So thoughts?
I can taste the cilantro, the lime.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
It's a very nutritious dish. Great for a lunch or a dinner. And again, this meal preps very, very well. Very, very well. And you're getting all those greens. And one version I've done, I add in because I have Swiss chard growing on my tower garden. So you put other greens in there. So it doesn't have to be spinach, but true to form, and palak means spinach, and that's how they do it. So I'm sure it tastes better with rice or naan.
I'm wondering if the Indian stores probably use frozen because I know that you see more of the this is more sauce than this, than the what you call it. So I'm wondering if they use frozen spinach, and that probably makes it easier for them in the restaurant.
If it's a nice restaurant, I'm gonna say they're not doing that. If it's a regular restaurant, they're probably taking several shortcuts just from working in that industry.
Yeah.
But if it's a higher end one,
There's gonna be more sauce like this.
yeah, 100%.
Interesting. So I think
From my experience, yep, my experience. I wish y'all could have had the real experience though. With the rice. It's new, okay, but is it okay with the noodles? Okay, okay.
You got some nine bread up there?
No, but this is traditionally served over rice, usually a white jasmine rice. I mean white basmati rice. I cook brown basmati rice for you guys at the house, and then or with naan. So if you do a naan, make sure you get the one that says vegetarian, right? Because naan is usually made with yogurt. So get the one that's side by side. It's the same packaging. One just says in very small print vegetarian. So they just use coconut cream instead of the yogurt, the dairy yogurt.
Have you ever seen gluten-free naan bread?
Yeah,
Really?
I have at the health food store.
Okay.
I haven't tasted it.
I wanted to taste.
I don't know.
I know.
It could be hit or miss with that.
Yeah.
Where are we on time? Oh, okay, so we're a little bit early. Okay. Okay, we got to get everybody signed in before you leave. You gonna do that? Okay. And I'm gonna do a quick recap while y'all finish up your food. So we start off the day. We had our little memory recall, our pop quiz, our midterm, whatever you want to call it, right? We went through those answers, right? And I'm gonna say overall, y'all get a B-, all right? Overall. So it's not bad, but it could be better. Okay, not bad, but it could be better. All right, some other facts that I wrote down my brain dump that I did not discuss in terms of the cookies. The oatmeal cookies. Oats are known for what? When we've talked about it in this class, what is it good for? Fiber, cholesterol, yes, but it is what else do we talk about it when we talk about oats? You're getting so close. It's a prebiotic. Okay, so all this probiotic stuff that keeps selling you all, the probiotic has to eat something. Okay, so the oats are a prebiotic food. All right, so that's one that is claims to fame. The other thing about oats has this thing in it called D-beta glucans. The D-beta glucans in it, that's the thing that actually helps to lower your cholesterol. That's what helps bind. It helps with the absorption of calcium in the gut. That's what the D-beta glucans do. That's why you're encouraged to eat oats. Like if I don't eat oats, I'll eat spelt oats out of spelt, but it's the same thing. It has the same prebiotic fiber, the same D-beta glucans. The highest form of D-beta glucans that I'm aware of are in shiitake mushrooms. So you'll have that same effect, and specifically that species of mushroom has a lot of D-beta glucans. So again, that helps with lowering your cholesterol, and that helps with the absorption of iron, the absorption of calcium. Shiitake. Shiitake mushrooms have the highest source. Now, so you might find some obscure article that has some obscure plant that has even higher source, but in terms of mainstream products, shiitake mushrooms has one of the highest sources of D-beta glucans. And they go all the way to, because we can't break them down in our stomach lining, it goes all the way to your large intestines, and that's why it's able to help with that. That's like the soluble fiber. We can't break it down. That's why it pulls stuff on its way out, right? So that's the stuff we want. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So overall, we're good? We're good? Any questions? No? But as you see, from start to finish, in 30 minutes, you can have it prepped and baked. Because they bake for 18 minutes, and it's a dump and go recipe. So I try to make them like that for this class specifically, so it's not too much, because I'm a former pastry chef, and I could go all the way there. And you'll be like, that tastes good, Annie, but I ain't gonna do this at home. So I try to make approachable recipes intentionally, and not go too far. So we had that. We had the oatmeal cookies, and then we had the Thai noodle salad. So compared to the kelp noodle salad, it was a different variation on the sauce that goes over it. And again, this is any vegetable you want. Like I said, if you want, I would do like I could see roasted broccoli in there. That would be really, really good. That's like one of my favorite things. I could put like a whole head of roasted garlic in there as well. Maybe some artichoke hearts and have all that out, just variate whatever you have in your refrigerator that you like, that you will eat, put it in the salad. Okay. This is just a recommendation. And then that sauce is just a variation of the kelp noodle sauce that I made up like that day that y'all really liked. And I really just switched the lime juice with the rice vinegar. So you can do that and use whatever noodle you want. Hopefully it's a whole grain noodle. And let's see. Is that something y'all could make, or did y'all like that? Is that just an okay? Is that is it okay or is it good? Okay. Okay. Was the kelp noodle salad better? That one, the kelp, yeah. Yeah, I think me too. It's something different, okay? And then the Palak Paneer. So if you go to an Indian restaurant, no, it's a vegetarian dish, so it's made with dairy, okay? Unless you go to a vegan restaurant. So I don't encourage you to try it, but I encourage you, if you do try it, you'll see that it's very similar. It's very similar. Yep. Any questions? Y'all good? Okay. Well, class is adjourned. Thank y'all. Same time, same place next week.